change occurs when the body undergoes REM sleep.
Is it contagious? People are being duplicated.
How do you know my name? I didn't tell you my name.
Can't find it.
It's like the first impression that's stamped on a coin. It isn't finished.
There's all the features, but no details, no character, no lines.
Science fiction movies are famous for their amazing ideas and strange new worlds. We think they are totally original, but sometimes the best sci-fi movies are actually remakes of older movies. Remakes are common in Hollywood, but sometimes we don't even realize a movie is a remake, especially with science fiction. Let's look at 10 famous sci-fi films you might not have known were remakes, and how they changed the stories over time. Number 1. Battle Beyond the Stars, 1980. Remake of The Magnificent Seven, 1960.
You know how much money that cost? Huh?
He had a town at his mercy.
After Star Wars became a huge success, many movie studios wanted to make their own space movies.
I am C-3PO, human cyborg relations, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2.
Hello.
Some were original ideas, but others were remakes with a space twist. Battle Beyond the Stars takes the classic western, The Magnificent Seven, which is itself based on the Japanese film Seven Samurai, and puts it in space. In the original, a village hires 7 gunslingers to protect them from bandits. In Battle Beyond the Stars, a young farmer sets off to recruit a team of mercenaries to save his peaceful planet from an evil warlord. While a bit silly, it was a fun space adventure when it came out. Number 2. The Fly, 1986. Remake of The Fly, 1958.
You're changing, Seth. Everything about you is changing.
Oh no. What's happening to me? Am I dying?
You probably know the Jeff Goldblum version of The Fly, where a scientist accidentally mixes his DNA with the fly during a teleportation experiment, slowly transforming into a monstrous hybrid. But did you know there was an older movie from 1958? The original is more of a classic horror film.
You'll be all right now. I know it's working!
A scientist's experiment goes wrong, and he ends up with the head and arm of a fly. His wife and brother-in-law try to help him, but his situation becomes increasingly tragic and horrifying. The remake leans more into body horror and focuses on the romance between the scientist and a journalist, ending on a much bleaker note. Number 3. The Time Machine, 2002. Remake of The Time Machine, 1960.
Time travel.
Inventor Rod Taylor's breakthrough into the realm of the fourth dimension is defied by his friend Alan Young.
This movie, with Guy Pearce, is based on the classic book by H.G. Wells, but also takes a lot from the 1960s movie. The main plot is similar. A scientist invents a time machine to see the future. The 1960s version has the inventor, called George, traveling far from the future, where humanity has split into 2 races, the peaceful Eloi and the monstrous Morlocks. George tries to help but gets caught in their conflict. The 2002 version changes the story, having the inventor fly desperately to travel back in time to save his fiancée from a tragic accident, and eventually finding himself even further in the future. Number 4. Vanilla Sky, 2001. Remake of Open Your Eyes, 1997.
Call you later.
When?
Don't say soon. I hate it when you say soon.
Soon!
Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise has cool images, like an empty Times Square, but many people thought the story was confusing. It's actually a remake of the Spanish movie called Open Your Eyes, a tightly plotted thriller. Both movies tell the story of a wealthy, handsome man who becomes disfigured in an accident. Afterwards, he finds himself in a strange and confusing world where reality and dreams blur together. Open Your Eyes is known for its twisty plot and makes the questions about reality much clearer than the American remake. Number 5. I Am Legend, 2007, remake of The Omega Man, 1971, and The Last Man on Earth, 1964.
The last man on Earth lives in a fortress.
What day is it anyway?
Perfect. Just wide enough to keep the flesh apart so their body seal can't function.
The Will Smith movie I Am Legend is about the last person alive after a virus turns most people into nocturnal, monstrous creatures. This idea is very common in post-apocalyptic fiction, but the movie is specifically based on 2 older films. The Last Man on Earth, 1964, stars Vincent Price as the last survivor, trying to find a cure and battling the infected. The Omega Man 1971 changes things up. Charlton Heston's character is a military scientist, and the infected are more like intelligent cultists. The Will Smith version modernizes the action and changes the ending significantly, making the story less hopeful than the originals. Number 6. The Stepford Wives 2004. Remake of The Stepford Wives 1975.
She's a psychiatrist.
I think the men in the association are behind it. And my time is coming.
The 2004 Stepford Wives was a flop, but it has famous actors like Nicole Kidman, Glenn Close, and Bette Midler. It's about women in a perfect suburban town who turn out to be eerily obedient robots. Many people don't know it's based on a 1975 movie that's a much better and scarier version of the same story. In the original, a woman named Joanna moves to Stepford and slowly realizes something is very wrong with the other wives. Her investigation turns into a chilling thriller with a dark ending. The remake tries to be funnier and less creepy, which didn't work as well. Number 7. The Invasion 2007. Remake of The Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Change occurs when the body undergoes REM sleep.
Is it contagious? People are being duplicated.
How do you know my name? I didn't tell you my name.
I can't find it.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a classic story about aliens taking over people's bodies by replacing them with emotionless duplicates while they sleep. It has been remade many times. The 2007 one with Nicole Kidman is called The Invasion, but it doesn't mention body snatchers in its title. The original 1956 version is a tense, suspenseful film about a small-town doctor who first notices people acting strangely.
It's like the first impression that's stamped on a coin. It isn't finished.
There's all the features, but no details, no character, no lines.
The 1978 remake with Donald Sutherland expands on the story and ramps up the paranoia. Strangely, The Invasion decided not to connect itself to the established Body Snatchers universe, which might have hurt the movie's success. Number 8. The Thing 1982. Remake of The Thing from Another World 1951.
12 men have just discovered something. For 100,000 years, it was buried in the snow and ice.
Gentlemen, do you realize what we've found? A being from another world, as different from us as one pole from the other.
John Carpenter's The Thing 1982 is considered one of the best horror movies ever made. The shape-shifting alien attacks researchers in Antarctica, able to perfectly imitate any person or animal it absorbs, but it's a remake. The 1951 movie is very different. The monster called The Thing is an alien being resembling a Frankenstein-like humanoid made of plant matter. It's incredibly strong and nearly impossible to kill. Carpenter wanted to be more faithful to the original short story the movies are based on, where the alien's true form and abilities are a mystery. Number 9. Solaris 2002. Remake of Solaris 1972, which was a remake.
What's happening here? Whose blood is that?
I could tell you what's happening.
Most people know that George Clooney's Solaris is a remake of a famous Russian film from 1972 by acclaimed director Andrei Tarkovsky. But did you know the Russian film is also a remake? The original Solaris was a black and white TV movie from 1968.
И вот теперь вообрази, что ты это встречаешь.
It's about a space station orbiting a strange planet. The planet seems to be alive, creating manifestations based on the astronauts' movies and deepest fears. Tarkovsky's 1972 version expanded the story, adding a focus on the main character's lost love and regret. The 2002 version simplifies things further, being mostly a psychological drama with less focus on the strange planet itself. Number 10. 12 Monkeys, 1995. Remake of La Jetty, 1962.
This is a place for crazy people.
I'm not saying you're not mentally ill. For all I know, you're crazy as a loon.
Sans souvenir, sans projet. Jusqu'au moment où ils sont devant eux.
Terry Gilliam's 12 Monkeys is a mind-bending time travel movie starring Bruce Willis. He plays a convict from a plague-ravaged future, sent back in time to try and stop the virus. But it's heavily inspired by a French short film called La Jetty. La Jetty is only 28 minutes long and told almost entirely with still photos. It has the same plot, but a more experimental feel. It focuses on a man haunted by an image from his childhood, and how that image connects to his time-traveling missions. 12 Monkeys wouldn't exist in its current form without the original to build upon. So next time you watch a cool sci-fi movie, think about it. There might be a hidden older version with a totally different feel, and you might just discover a new favorite. Did any of these remakes surprise you? Do you prefer the original movies, or do you like how the remake changes the stories? Let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.
You slept with Julie Gianni again, didn't you?
Julie's a friend. Sometimes we sleep together.